All right. Well, welcome back to the depths of healthcare. I'm your host, Ben Imes. To the listeners, however many of you there are enjoying our time out there, really just glad you're joining us back for another episode. Really excited for today. Got a great guest lined up. I got Zenji Reynolds joining us all the way from the warm and sunny confines of Arizona. Zenji, why don't you introduce yourself? Give us a little bit of info about your background.
All right. First of all, let me say it's a pleasure to be on this show with Ben Imes, the depth of healthcare. This amazing platform with an amazing individual. Ben, you're doing absolutely fantastic work. Thank you for having me on as a guest.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
My name is Zenji Reynolds. I'm the CEO of Southwest Shoulder, Elbow, and Hand Center out here in the beautiful state of Arizona. I've been in healthcare for I don't even want to say how many years because is that a belie my age. And
Yep.
sometimes I wake up with little aches and I'm like, woo, hold on, I'm not 21, 22 anymore. I look in the
Yep.
mirror and some of this gray, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot. But I've been in healthcare for we'll say over 20 years,
There you go. There you go.
well over 20 years
We'll cap
actually.
it there.
We'll we'll cap it. Actually, we'll say 21. I'm old enough to have a beard legally in healthcare. So
There you go.
over 21 years, I've worked my way up. I started out in radiology. Started out as an X-ray tech, cross-trained to CT, cross-trained to MRI. I went back to school, got my master's degree. I got kicked up to administration, and then from there, I've been at hospitals. I've been a hospital administrator to clinics to COOs into the CEO role, and I'm a CEO.
There you
Like I
go.
say, I work for Southwest Shoulder, Elbow, and Hand Center, and also Southwest Shoulder and Hand Physical Therapy. I'm proud to say we expanded into the physical therapy realm as well, and we just opened up our second office on June 1st of this year. So
Come
things seem
on.
to be going well.
Come on. So talk a little bit about, that transition. Obviously, you were I hate to say that there's sides in healthcare, but you were on the front end, on the front lines, kind of taking care of patients and doing the different diagnostic testing. What made you inspired to go from the diagnostic realm to kind of more leadership and executive kind of side?
Great question. Great question. And here's how that works. No matter what realm you work in, no matter what job you have, when you look at something and you care about your job. For me, healthcare, I care about people, and you care about your job. When you look at something, the question should come is, why are we doing this? Why aren't we doing it like this? Why are we doing it this way? Why aren't we doing it this way? Or whatever the case may be. And then inevitably somebody will ask the questions. If you think you could do it better, then do it. And it's one of those things where I don't know if I could do it better, but in my mind, I'm writing out plans. I'm looking at things. It doesn't make sense to me to do it this way. We can be more efficient if we do it this way. And so when somebody puts that challenge out there to it, if you think you can do it better, then do it. Challenge accepted. Okay, let's see if we can do it this way. And come to find out, okay, there is a better way to do this. And if you do it this way and you work hard, somebody will notice. So they'll look at you and say, okay, let's move you up here. If you continue to work hard, somebody will notice. And when I say work hard, it really is the work.
Yeah.
There are some
Yeah.
people who will try and work and they'll make connections. Connections will only get you so far. People say, hey, they got this job because of this. Well, if you get this job because you know somebody, at some point you're gonna have to do the job, and either you're gonna be successful at it or if you're not.
Yep.
So there,
Rubber has to meet the road at that point.
exactly,
You gotta prove
exactly.
it.
So you have to prove that you can do the jobs. Like I say, you say, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. Okay, let's see what you can do. So then you do it, and okay, you know what you're talking about. You can do these things. Let's go. So you put another plan together. It's a successful plan, and like I say, you just show what you can do, uh, and it gets noticed and it gets acknowledged, and you'll continue to move up. Now, one of the things about healthcare is sort of making it sound easy on that. Healthcare is ever evolving. So even the plan, I can sit here and make a plan today and say, Ben, I have this wonderful plan. It's going to work. By tomorrow, I got to make some changes to it because of whatever the case may be. A week
Stuff
from
down the
now, I got
pipeline.
to make some changes. So every plan has to be a fluid. I always tell people you got to have a plan A, a B, a C, a D, E, F, G, H. You got to have a backup to the backup to the backup to the backup plan, and you have to be able to move
Yep.
at the drop of a dime. Okay, we're
Yep.
going this direction. Pivot. Now we have to go this direction. Pivot. Now we have to go this direction,
Mhm.
and you have to be free flowing.
How have you learned that lesson? I mean, has that been just, like, continually, repeatedly, like, taught to you, or is that just something that you've kinda seen from your overall experience?
All of it. That is, you learn from failures. So
You
while
better
it's
fail
repeated,
forward, though.
yes, it was repeatedly taught to me, but it's sometimes you gotta touch the fire and get burned.
Mhm.
And that's the best way to learn. So even though people tell me this and it's repeatedly taught to me, there are some things that you don't know, and you just have to go through some things and experience. Is the old saying, I'm successful because I failed. There are some things coming in, and you think you're fluid, but you're really not, and you don't know how to be fluid until you are in those situations, and then you're knocked around. Every month I have a meeting with my board of directors. When I walked into that meeting, I remember my very first meeting of my board of directors many years ago, when I was much younger, and this was more pepper than salt. Um, I walked into a meeting, and I had prepared for this meeting for 2 weeks. I had my numbers down. I had what I was going to say. I'm standing in front of a mirror preparing my speech. I'm a this is this. I'm anticipating every question. And as like literally the morning of my meeting was at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I should say the night before, there were a couple things that changed in insurance contracts. There were a couple things that no longer were covered. And so now I'm walking in and I'm trying to redo numbers. And even though I redo my numbers, I'm like, okay, I got my numbers redone. I could do this. And they're like, okay, well, what about this, and this? Because I redid numbers for a small subset, but those contracts changed everything. It didn't change just one area.
Yeah.
I say, if you change one area, it affects
Everything downstream.
everything else, everything else. And so
Yeah.
I'm getting beat up, and I'm still rigid because I see this plan going forward, but my plan would have worked for one area, but there's 13 other areas that would have broke. And so I'm standing in there, and they're asking me very intelligent questions that now I would ask myself back then. And man, I'm in there trying to argue, trying to debate, and you just see it going downhill quick. And
Grabbing a
that's a learning
straw.
lesson. So some of this it really is. You just got to go through the fire. You
Yeah.
just got to go through the fire, and you
But
learn, and
but the
you move
key
forward.
is, I think, that you're pointing out is you learn from that. Like, you can't.
Oh, absolutely,
So, let's
absolutely.
say you go into that meeting, you get roasted, you come out, and if you just say, "Oh, they don't know what they're talking about, I'm gonna just keep trying the same thing." I mean, you could define that as insanity of trying the same thing, expecting a different result. But you gotta be able to shift your focus and be able to, what's the word? Kind of mature and
Yes.
be malleable to be able to shift your kind of focus and not just die on that hill, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you said one thing that I sort of laughed at it. I would never in my life, and this is one of the things that thank God for my mother and my family. I would never say somebody does not know what they're talking about. I learn from everybody and everything. The minute I say I'm an expert in the field, I'm getting out of that field. There's no such thing as a, because everything in the world keeps evolving. It keeps changing.
100%.
There are people say that you're a student. I have my master's degree. When I have students that come in and want to intern with me, I'll sit and talk to them, and they're asking me questions, and I'm giving them my knowledge, but I'm picking their brain too. And they're talking like, we're in school, and I used to tell them, I get this a lot, and I feel like it's always been like that. I can remember when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I was ready for the world. I'm like, I got my bachelor's degree now. I'm ready to walk into the door to be a CEO. No, no, I'm walking into the door. I have all these ideals, and I'm walking into a room, and I want to share these ideals because I'm book smart. I graduated with a 3.92. I know everything, and I'm in a room full of other people with bachelor degrees who have been in this field forever, and they're looking at me like, I got one too. You're not special. So not only that, we have experience in this. Learn from me. So I'm able to pick and learn from them. But there are certain things that people who were older and more experienced, I was still new, and so I'm learning, and I've been trained on new things that they haven't. So if they want to stay rigid, then they are going to sort of decline while I'm on the come up. And I've always taken that. So I learned from things change so much that, hey, there could be somebody in high school that I'm going to learn from. So as they're talking to me, I'm talking to them. every encounter I have, whether it's at the grocery store and I'm saying hi, how you doing? I'm talking to somebody. I'm always trying to learn something just to be better. And that's just in my personal life, in my career. Heck, talking to you, I'm going to learn something from you throughout this conversation to be better. And hopefully the listeners will learn something from me. And maybe one day we'll have a call in show and I can learn something from them and we'll go from there.
Hey, and that's what it's all about. I mean, it's kind of keeping that mentality of being a lifelong learner, like not just thinking that no, like, oh, okay, you meet this person in the store, yeah, sure, they have nothing to offer me because I'm, better than they are. I mean, that's a very proud approach, like a prideful approach. I think
Yes,
you have to be able to. What I'm hearing from you is approach every situation with humility. It's an always an
absolutely.
opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that has made me successful in life is, like I say, I'm always learning. To this day, I'm always learning. I always want to learn, and like I say, it's my goal to learn from everybody that I'm in touch with. It's one of the reasons which make you working here at Southwest Shoulder Elbow and Hand Center a great experience. I work with some great doctors, some great physicians, and I can name, Dr. Beard, Dr. Timothy Beard, Dr. Deborah Bourne, Dr. Samir Jain, Dr. Shafiq, Dr. Littman. We are always having conversations where we're talking. I'm learning from them. They're learning from me. Dr. Beard, great teacher. Dr. Bourne, Dr. J. All those guys are great teachers where they'll
Yeah,
talk in their area of expertise. But they'll come, they'll sit down with me because they want to learn what's going on. They know what's going on in their business. I know what's going on in my business. We work together. We teach each other. We learn from each other. It's just a fantastic environment, and
yeah.
that's what makes this a great practice.
Yeah. And so explain a little bit more. I mean, we'll delve into that a little bit more. I mean, you started here a couple years ago.
Mhm.
Seems like it was very streamlined, like everyone's ideals kind of fit each other's of having
Yes.
very open and transparent communication just through everything. Cause it can be difficult if this is it a private clinic
Private,
by
yeah, private practice. We're privately owned.
so privately owned practice, you might have a board, you got the surgeons themselves who have partial ownership, and then you're coming in to kind of manage everything, correct? So,
Correct.
how do you navigate that space? This is really helpful for the listeners to kind of have that background info because you're in a very unique position to be able to have kind of your fingers into every part of the business, but also being able to kind of bring everybody together to get a good vision. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's I'm in a unique situation, but I'm also blessed to work with such great people. Navigating this space was easy because my board of directors, they have the same mentality that I do. When I first came in and I was like, okay, I don't know this. I was not working with physicians. And again, we're privately owned by our physicians. We're owned by Dr. Deborah Bourne, Dr. Darcy Feet, Dr. Samir Jain, and Dr. Tim Beard. Those are our four owners of our practice. So walking in, each of them came, spent time with me. We talked one on one. I have my visions and goal. They have theirs. And they wanted to sit down and learn. Dr. Beer is he's actually started to practice over 25 years ago. So we came, we sat down, we talked, and we're going through financials, and financials are financials, but for him to be able to sit down and talk and give you the history of, okay, we did this, we did this, we did this didn't work, so now we're trying this and we're trying this, so you could go and then sit down and have a conversation as a group. Okay, where do we want to go? What is our vision, and how are we going to do it? And have everybody on the same page. It's fantastic. One of the things I talked about earlier is being able to make moves. When we have such a cohesive ownership group and we have such great people, and there's constant communication, there's very open and direct communication. Everybody is able to have their opinion heard and then say, okay, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to go this way. And there's also a lot of freedom. And okay, we're going to try this. We put a plan together. We're going to try this, and we go that way. And there's a lot of support where you have support from everybody. Once we make an agreement that we're going to do this, it's not, well, if three people agree and two people don't, the two people are just going to sit back. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do it anyway. It's okay. If the majority goes, let's go. 100% support. We're going to go. We're going to make that move. Yeah, my job is to, like I said, follow through on that. And if I hit a speed bump, I got to pivot. Hey, we're pivoting this way. We're pivoting this way. What changes are we making? What we're going to do, and we have to go this because certain things change. I'll give you the biggest example. Now, this is not political for anybody listening, but this is tariffs. When tariffs hit, there's certain things that you can have a budget, but once tariffs hit, it's like, okay, well, now your costs are going up. So how do we adjust for costs? What do we have to do? It just is what it is. And that say it's not political because it's business. You know, what's costs go up here, are costs going down here, or where are costs going? So then you have to look at numbers. You might have to reallocate some things and go from A to B. But that's part of the that's part of the fun of business and the fun of being in my position. You can look at it and say, okay, we can't do this, but how are we going to be successful? Okay, we need to move over here. We need to move over here. And when you're working with a group of people that you can talk to, you can sit down, everybody put on their thinking hat. Yeah, you're gonna be nothing but successful.
Everybody's bought in, and
Everybody's bought in. You know,
when
when I
everybody's
came in,
bought in, everybody has each other's backs, like, then it makes it so much easier to move forward.
absolutely. And just in 2 short years, I can tell you we are now the largest private practice group in Tucson, Arizona.
There you go. Were you 2 years ago?
No,
Okay.
no, we were
Go.
not 2 years ago, but we are today.
There you are today. Give me an idea of what kind of different innovations and stuff you've like maybe specific projects that you brought. You kind of touched on the PT. This is your intro for that now. Unless you have other ideas, other projects you've been working on to really kind of turn things up.
First thing when you come in, you have to look at your processes. You know, what are your processes and procedures? How do you streamline some things, and how do you make things better? And I would say the first thing to anybody out there, if you're coming into any organization, come in with an ear to listen. Come in and talk to the people who've been here. You know, you might think you have some great ideas, but you come in and you sort of watch and you listen to staff that's been here. You know, from front desk to the janitors. I mean, all of that is important. So you can look at your front desk staff. I'm not checking in patients. I haven't checked in a patient in over 20 years. So I can look and I can say, okay, we need to do this process, this process, this process. I don't have boots on the ground. I'm not out there doing it. So it would behoove me to talk to the people who are doing it and say, okay, if you could change anything, if you could make a process, what can we eliminate? What can we streamline? What can we make better? So those are that's the first thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I do.
Yeah.
Is like I say, spend some time just meeting everybody, listening, getting to know them, and your staff appreciates it. That builds trust with them. That you're not just coming in to
Right.
make wholesale changes or do anything.
Right.
So streamlining some processes, listening to your staff, that automatically is going to make things better. It might save you some money, but it definitely is going to help any organization. Now, and my role is obviously to work with my board of directors, work with my team to see what can we do if expansion is your thing. What can we do to expand? What are some different areas to look at? You might look at, say, radiology, and I say radiology because radiology is my background. Does it make sense to do an imaging center? Obviously, we have X-ray on site. We order a lot of X-rays. We do a lot of CTs. We do a lot of MRIs. And does it make sense to build an imaging center, or does it make sense to go to a new stream of revenue as in PT? Certain things for our practice, it made more sense to expand into PT. I mean, we have surgeons that work for us, so obviously, if they're going to operate, we're going to do physical therapy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so as you operate it makes more sense to have physical therapy at the moment, and we do physical therapy, we build on that and we expand. So you do the performers, you look at the financials from a business aspect, and let me know if I'm going too far down the business track.
No, this is
Like I
okay.
say,
This is okay.
those are things that you look at and you expand. So like I say, we expanded into one physical therapy site, and it took off. It was, you know, normally you open a business, it takes a while to be successful. Normally it might take, you know, a year and a half, 2, 3 years.
I was gonna say to
You know,
even
we were
break even
successful,
easily.
yeah, to even break even. Exactly. We were successful in 9 months.
There you go.
So we started looking at our second physical therapy site. So, you know, did we need to do to open our second physical therapy site? And so almost 2 years later, we opened up our second physical therapy site, and we're doing well. The best part about that, if I'm being perfectly honest, also is the care.
Yeah, it's
The
comprehensive.
continuity of care per se. All of this, and while I'm talking about business, it all starts with the people. It all starts with care for people. My staff, my board of directors that I work with, first and foremost, it really isn't about money. It's about the care of people. And if you care for people and the people know that you care about them, that loyalty, the people are going to stay with you. They're going to continue to come back. They're your people say they're patients, they're your customers, your stakeholders, they're all of that. So they're going to continue to come back and they're going to trust you. And that physical therapy, if you send them physical therapy, it's the same thing. If you want to hire people who care,
Yep.
people who buy in, and people who treat your family. Physical therapy, you're not just there for one appointment. You're going to be there for 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 appointments. And you do feel like family because you see the therapist so much and the therapist see you. And it's sort of that if anything ever happens, I want to go back here because they take care of me. Outside physicians, they say, we're going to send our patients here because this is where our patients want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you're getting probably a lot of referrals now just from these outside
Absolutely.
clinics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what happens. I feel like the listeners know this, but when you treat people like they want to be treated, I mean, it just comes back to the golden rule. If you're treating patients like you would your family member or a friend in a town, then they they actually can hand off for you, and you don't have to do this whole big marketing pushes and stuff like that. Just
Exactly.
because it's all word of mouth, organic movement, because they're like, hey, they didn't treat me like a number or a cattle or livestock. Like they actually treated me like I mattered. And, then they hand that off to their, neighbor who, tore their cuff or something like that. And then they're like, hey, well, my shoulder hurts. I should go see them too.
Absolutely.
And it's like it's all about. I mean, I appreciate. I hope people can hear this. That hopefully any listeners in the Arizona area, but like it really does change the dynamic in the medical field when you're actually treated well. From my job, if I mean I'm seeing people on the worst day of their life, right? But I don't. I try to come alongside them, and that's what you're trying to preach. It sounds like to your staff as
Absolutely.
well. Come alongside them. They're in pain. They don't want to be here, but they need help.
Yes, they need help, and while it's the worst day of their life, uh, anything you can do to make it better.
That's it.
Even me in this role, I go out, I still talk to patients, I see patients, and even if a patient wants to call and complain, I don't push those calls off. I personally take those calls because I want to hear it. I want to know what happened, and if there's something on our end, what can I do to make it better? I need to know these things because again, if the patient has a bad experience, that I take that personal. That's on me. What can we do to make sure that your experience on the worst day of your life, or your experience when you're in pain, I don't want to make that worse. I want to make you have the most pleasurable experience you could possibly have being in pain. Now, obviously, in pain, it's not going to be pleasurable, but I definitely don't want to make it worse. I want to make it
Exactly.
as best as I possibly can.
Exactly, and I appreciate that you're actually kinda retroactively trying to help these people as well, even if they have a bad not result, but more bad experience where you can feel like, "Hey, well, help us to do better. Like, what do you see?" You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you've had a bad experience, I can't do anything for you, but we don't want anybody else to have this experience as well.
Right.
And there are certain things where, like I said, I can't. We'll send a gift card, or we'll talk to them. And some people, they just want to be heard, and I'm here to listen. I'm here to hear what you have to say, so we can make it better. And uh, hopefully, we'll
Exactly.
never have the same bad outcome twice.
Yep.
If
Yep.
you tell me there's a problem, we'll fix that problem. So hopefully, never nobody else will ever say, "Okay, I've experienced this problem."
So
It'd be something else till we clear it up.
yeah, totally. What do you envision? I mean, because to be honest, for my listeners, you should go check out Zenji online. But he's kind of a visionary in the Arizona healthcare space, and has really had a lot of great experience and a lot of great awards that have come his way because of the work that he's really put in. But Zenji, just for our listeners' sake, and also for my interest, like where do you see you've already been so innovative and forward thinking with how you've with the executive roles that you've been in? Where do you see things going with where you are now? Uh, Obviously, opening a second PT clinic very recently, that's probably still very fresh and still the focus. Are there other dreams you're thinking of, or other processes that you see need streamlined? Or are there other things that you're just like always thinking about and seeing innovating in the healthcare space?
That's a loaded question.
I know. Don't give me too many details for the competition, but
No, no. Actually, I'll tell you something that everybody should be looking into right now. No, where we're going first, we have to get our hands around. Um, there's a few things we have to get our hand around when we're in meetings and we're talking, and this was a few years ago. Everybody was talking about robotics. You have robotics, and you have robots that assist in surgery, or I can actually do surgery, and different things of that nature. We still have people who are talking about robotics, and I'm like, oh, robotics is already here. The general public might not know as much as they should, and I shouldn't say as much as they should. They might not know as much as out there of of what the robots do per se. But now we're on a cutting edge. AI is a crazy thing. We are just at the beginning, and I shouldn't even say at the beginning because AI has been here for a while. People are
I
just
think
now
we're in the
starting to become
midst of.
aware of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
AI is yeah, that's all I can say is AI has been here. It's just more to the forefront now and people are becoming more aware of it, but it's not necessarily new. But it's new enough that we got to get our hands around and see where this is going to take us. AI is a game changer.
Totally.
It really is in healthcare, actually in just the world today. I'm not going to
In
limit it and say healthcare.
everything. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. How do you see it in your field? I mean, I'm very curious about if you have visions about how it can be kind of utilized with your clinic.
man, yes, yes, all the above. AI is I'll give you an example of of I'll give you an example of AI. I remember some years ago, and now I'm talking many years ago, sort of like when WebMD came out, and so you had a bunch of people who would get, oh, I have a cough in my throat. Let me go to WebMD and Google. I don't need to go to the doctor. I'm going to WebMD to see what I have. Okay, I have a cough in my throat. Okay, yeah, I do have swollen lymph nodes. Oh, you know, I do have a headache. You've never had a headache in your life. And it's all these
Cancer.
different things where people will go down a rabbit hole because they could go to WebMD and they could do this. AI is one of those things where it is WebMD on steroids, except AI has the potential to get it right. If you can talk to AI, or if you put in Google now, I was doing a Google search or something, and the first thing that came up was AI. I mean, the AI response as
Yep.
far as what it is.
Yep.
People say AI is going to replace doctors. AI will never replace physicians, but I can actually see a world where if you're coming in and you're talking to something AI where very generically you can get an answer, sort of
Mhm.
like telehealth, telemedicine. Before you need to do video. Now you can call in and talk to a doctor on the phone. You don't need a video screen. I have this, I have this, I have that. I can actually see AI doing that. Somebody say, hey, call in AI. You describe me your problems, you describe me your symptoms, and AI taking over from there. I can see AI assisting in certain things. If I'm a physician in a room and I'm talking, and the patient says this or this, I can see AI being an assistant. There are so many different things that AI can do. Scribing. I mean that's
Massive.
already here. Where as a physician, if I'm scribing, instead of taking notes at the end of the day, AI is going to automatically scribe for me. That's already here. I don't need to scribe anymore. I have AI that can do that.
Right.
So it's different things like that where I see at the beginning stages of AI doing it and it taking off, going more in depth. Now we can go more in depth, but I might lose some people where it goes. But I can see AI doing a lot. You go to a hospital, you want to check in, AI can be pretty accurate. Do I need to talk to somebody at the front desk? Do I need to do this? I can get into AI and AI will be pretty accurate. Might
And
even
it's
be
all.
able to diagnose a couple things, and I don't
Yeah.
need urgent care. I can just these
Yeah, yeah,
small
yeah.
things I could just talk to somebody AI and keep it going.
And I feel like I like your vision on it. I think I also, um, I mean, obviously, you and I are both healthcare experienced, but we want to know that it's not job replacing, but more job assisting.
Job assisting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so coming alongside us to learn, and it's just like what we were just talking about earlier. I mean, AI is able to learn from its mistakes so it doesn't repeat them. Hopefully, I mean, obviously, that's how we trend our lives, and we want people around us to move in that same direction. So now we have a tool that we can train to fail forward, and to be able
Absolutely.
to learn from itself and learn from the different experiences. And I think there's so many applications too. I agree with you. I think it's kind of a Pandora's box that has been opened probably 5 to 10 years ago. And now we're just starting to realize
You might be more accurate when you say 10 to 15. 5 to
yeah,
10 for sure, but I would say 10 to 15 if I'm being honest.
yeah, it
Like I say,
probably
it's
is.
just now becoming more mainstream.
Right. Right. So, I mean, do you guys have applications that you're doing with your clinic?
When I say light applications, when you look at the EMR, they're now having, as I said, the AI scribes that come in and do it. So different things like that, where AI is scribing and doing different things. That part is here now. So things like that. Other than that, no. But it is something that as AI becomes more prevalent, if you're not looking at it, if you're not at least looking into it to see what it is, what it can do, and how it's going to benefit, I'll say society as a whole, you're going to be behind the curve because this is where we're moving.
Are you excited about where it's moving in regards to your business, or like have other ideas that you potentially see in the future?
I'm definitely excited, but I got to be honest, whether I'm excited or not, this is the way it's going.
Yeah.
That that
You could be like, I hate it.
you
I don't like it, but this is how it's
you
going to do it.
you better get on board. It's sort of like back in the day when cars first came out. People go like, I like my horse. I don't want to be in a car. I like my horse.
This is the way it's going, though, bro.
Okay, they're building more roads. You can like your horse all you want to, but you better get on board because that horse
Yep.
and buggy is going to be obsolete.
Yep.
So with that being said, I am excited about AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There are certain things that I say I won't say now, but I will say everybody needs to at least look into it, be aware of it, and see what it can do, and sort of what boundaries can it push.
Yeah. Yeah. In healthy ways, obviously.
Obviously, in healthy ways. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you for that clarification.
Yeah. Because I think what I'm really curious about is oversight. Like, how are we monitoring what AI can really assist us with? Right.
That's the other thing is what is the oversight? What is the oversight on AI? And there are certain things that this has nothing to do with healthcare, but I was reading because this is in the news today. AI, well, I shouldn't say in the news today. It's in the news today, but it's been in the news for a while. Um, AI, you can make a person on AI. You can. It was a couple weeks ago. There was somebody who used AI and they made a song, and that song became popular. And they said, okay, who gets paid for that? Because the person that made it didn't get paid. And this song, they had like millions of streams, and it's okay. Who get paid for that? AI. When you look at actors and actresses in their field, you can do an AI video, and I could do an AI video of you.
You could.
Who is overseeing that? If I do an AI video of you and some negative stuff, and you're like, hold on, that's not me.
This is opening up the
The deep fake.
ethics deep
Yes.
end.
Thank you. The ethics. So, I mean, there's a lot of oversight and a lot of questions per se that needs to be done. So while we say AI is the future and it's a beautiful thing, there are some sides that need to be, but there are some things that need to be looked at, obviously. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
say, the ethics of it, oversight, how to take things. Yeah, I mean, how to address a bad situation. I mean, if you get a bad actor that's doing something negative, how do you address that?
Yeah. Totally.
If somebody puts up an image of Ben streaking down the street, and you're like, I'm in my house eating dinner. What the?
That ain't me. I
Your mom
promise. They're
called you
like,
like
no, it looked like you.
that's not me, and they're like, no, that looks exactly like you. You like, I got a fork to my face. That's not me.
Right. Right.
It's just definitely the ethics of it.
It's trippy. I hope that we can get a good governing system, or at least kind of a good ethics setup for it all. Anyways, we've run down that rabbit hole, I think, far enough.
Yes.
We've explored the depths of that. So, kind of as you look forward and you look forward to, what can come from, your clinic, from your position, personal dreams, whether it be personal or professional dreams. What do you have in vision or want to share with my listeners over what you're looking forward to kind of in your realm for the next, like, I don't know, we'll call it the 5-year plan, 2 to 5 years.
5-year plan. The 5-year plan, honestly, is to continue to grow. Like I say, we have a great clinic. We work with great physicians. So continue to grow, whether it's our surgeons, whether it's in physical therapy. We're looking at some other areas. And so whether we say, okay, hey, we're now going to expand into this realm, is just to continue to grow. Like I say, one of the things I love working with great people. I have a great staff that I work with now. I have a great board of directors. So, like I say, working with great people, helping people. I just want to continue to grow that model. Put people first. Put your patients, your customers, your stakeholders. Put
Totally.
them first. Everything else will come. With that, giving as much one-on-one care as possible, so that people don't feel like they're a numbers mill. I mean, that's sort of where we're at in a lot of places. People will feel like they didn't listen to what I say. They didn't talk to me. They just wanted to get me in and out so they could turn over that room and get somebody else in here. Our
Right.
practice is not like that. That's one of the things I love it. So I want to continue to grow our model that our physicians have. And again, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, Dr. Beer, Dr. Bourne, Dr. Jane, Dr. Shafiq, continue to grow that model that they have
Yeah.
of people first, and everything else will come.
Yep.
The success will come, the money will come, the growth will come if we just put people first. So like I say, just continue to grow. Like I said, not only our practice, not only physical therapy, but some of the other areas that we're looking at. And you'll have to have me on your show again once we start going out some of these other areas, so I can update the listeners of, hey, we're moving into this realm, or where we go. That's sort of
Exactly.
my 5 year plan is growth and expansion.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was hoping for. I mean, honestly, I think it's starting to become a trend with my listeners. They're hearing me say it now more often with really exciting guests who are moving their industries forward. I would love to reconnect in 6 to 12 months, and then we say, "Hey, here's where we were last time. Here's an update on the situation. Here's what's going on." It becomes fun at that point because you said, "Hey, here's where we were and here's where we are." And we get to talk about all the steps that you took to get there and all the hurdles you had to overcome at the same time. Because it's not all just
Absolutely.
like, glory, sunshine and rainbows, but you got to talk about what things did you really have to hurdle over, and
Absolutely.
how did you pivot? That kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Like I say, 2 years ago, we were another practice. Look at us now. Hey, with
You're
the
doing
docs we
something.
have, we're the largest private practice in Tucson, and we're going to continue to grow and not rest on our laurels.
Yep, exactly. I'm excited to see what comes, man. Zenji, you got to keep us in the loop. Where can my listeners kind of connect with you or kind of see where things are going down?
I'm glad you said that. Right now we are revamping a couple things. So if you just go to our webpage, southwesthand.com, I take that back, it's swhand.com. Go to our webpage now. We will have all of that on there, be it Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that will be on there. So I'll start with our webpage, swhand.com.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll keep a close eye on that, keep tabs on that, and then hopefully we can get another episode coming up here next year, and we'll see how things are rolling.
All right. Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Zenji, thanks for your words of wisdom. I appreciate you. I appreciate the good you're bringing to the world.
All right. Appreciate you as well. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man. You take it easy.
All right. You as well.